Hey everyone, you're just joining in a literary heaven, the literary nook by Fairy. Let's start our today's topic, but before going further, don't forget to subscribe the channel, like the videos, and share if you find it valuable. I'm going to discuss the functions of literature today. Critics have been discussing from very early times about the functions or function of literature. Though they differ among themselves regarding the other functions of literature, they are all agreed on one point that the main function of literature is to entertain the readers, or in other words, to give them pleasure. Longinus was the first critic to lay down his thesis that the loftiness or sublimity in literature has its an ecstasy, transport, lifting out of oneself. The value of a work literature can be assessed, according to Longinus, by introspection on the part of the reader or hearer if he is carried away, transported, moved to ecstasy by the grandeur or the passion of the work, then the work is good. The Greek word which it has become traditional to translate as sublime and in English means literary height or elevation. And Longinus in his essay on the sublime refers to those qualities in a work of literature which instantaneously create in the reader a sense of being carried to a new heights of passionate experience. Sublimity is the greatest of all literary virtues, the one which makes a work, whatever its minor defect, truly impressive. The ultimate function of literature and its ultimate justification is to be sublime and to have on its readers the effect of ecstasy or transport that sublimity has. This sublime effect of literature for Longinus is attained not by arguments but by revelation or illumination. Its appeal is not through the reason but what we should call imagination. Its effect upon the mind is immediate, like a flash of lighting upon the eyes. Sidney's voiced the opinion of Longinus when he said that the chief function of literature is to move. I never heard the old song of Percy and Douglas. He declared that I found not my heart moved more than with the trumpet. Dryden was the next critic who cleared away the incident is a stumbling block of the criticism, the doctrine that the aim of the writer is to instruct or make men better in some respect. He asserted that the aim of the writer is not to teach but to please, and he distinguished between literature, which is art, and literature, which is didactic. Instruction may result from the reading of the poetry, but it is the end. For poesy, only instruction as it delights. Referring to the function of literature to delight and to move, De Quincey made the distinction between the literature of knowledge and the literature of power. The function of the first is to teach, and the function of the second is to move. Besides giving pleasure or entertaining or moving the readers, literature is supposed to have other functions as well. One important function is to heighten the awareness of the reader to certain aspects of life. The dramatic poetry of Greece, the works of Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides were created for festival or ceremonial occasions. They reminded the great concourse of the Athenian citizens of the traditional gods and the heroes of the history. They were a civic drama expressive of the place and the power of the Greek city states and suggested that the past history and the powers above them were with them. In the original sense of the word, they were political. The outcome was to heighten the awareness of the Greek citizens to what were then regarded as significant aspects of Greek city life. Again, if we look at the ballad writers and the singers at the later date, we see that in their own way and in their own times, in traditional fashion, each celebrated events of social significance or so called heroic exploits. They brought news, recounted history, reconstructed the past of which they had learnt by the word of mouth passed on from one generation to another. And their original purpose was to entertain and to receive payment for it. But seen in the retrospect, that their function was then regarded as the significant of importance. The same is the case with all great works of literature. They make us aware of the various aspects of life which lay hidden from us. After reading Hamlet, Macbeth, King Lear, we begin to understand more about life and intricate problems than we could do before. Thus, the main function of literature are to entertain, give pleasure to the reader, to heighten his awareness of certain aspects of life. Besides these two primary functions, literature also performs. Okay, so three subsidiary functions: propaganda, release, and escape. Propaganda literature must be distinguished from mere propaganda, in which there is nothing creative. The writer of the mere propaganda is simply concerned to popularize facts, ideas, and emotion with which he is familiar, but propaganda, that is literature, is a creative influence, irritating and transform the writer's experiences. The idea to be propagated is still alive and growing in his mind. It is this living and growing idea which the artist communicates to his readers and thereby transforms his whole attitude to life. He can do so by the direct method of exposition and the exhaustion, as Ruskin did, or the indirect method or fiction like Dickens. Release literature is that in which the dominant motive of the writer is simply the amusement of starved needs, the release of the pent up faces, or the personality romances, detective stories, thrillers, poems, etc., which are written with such originality of perception or expression that they have a quickening effect on the reader, belongs to this category. Literature of the higher sort, which is dominated by release, may be wholesome for the writer or for the reader, as it effects purgation or purification. Literature also provides escape from the grim realities of life. Many people read to escape boredom. The higher type of literature helps the reader to escape from trivial reality into significant reality. To sum up, the primary function of the literature are to delight the reader, heighten his awareness of life. Subsidiary functions are propaganda, release, escape, but they are subordinate to the primary creative functions of literature. That was all for today. Stay connected for more literary videos. Me, Ferry, signing out from the Literary Nook by Ferry. But before signing out, don't forget to subscribe the channel, like the videos, and share.